Welcome to our deep dive into NVIDIA's 2024 annual report. We've got financial statements, board member bios, even their take on corporate sustainability.
Yeah, it's like a peek behind the curtain of this tech giant. And believe me, there's a lot to unpack.
Our mission is to extract the most intriguing insights about NVIDIA's ambitions and where they see themselves fitting into the future. Let's start with what jumped out at me immediately. Their view on generative AI. They're not just excited about it, they're calling it the most transformative technology of our generation.
That's a bold statement, and they take it even further by comparing its impact to the Industrial Revolution. They envision AI supercomputers as AI factories that produce intelligence. Imagine that. Factories churning out intelligence instead of widgets.
It's definitely a thought-provoking analogy, but is it hype or are there real-world examples that back up this claim?
The report dives into some compelling examples of generative AI's power. It's already being used to create images from detailed text descriptions like a beach at sunset with hotels on the beach. The level of detail is remarkable.
So like a super-powered version of those AI image generators that are all over the internet.
Exactly, but with far greater capabilities. It goes beyond images, though. Generative AI can even create complex 3D models of protein structures from simple amino acid sequences. They highlight its use in modeling the main protease from the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which, as you know, was a key target for COVID-19 treatments.
That's incredible. So this isn't just theoretical. It's already impacting fields like medicine and drug discovery.
Absolutely. The report also mentions researchers using it to design new drugs and climate scientists using it to make more accurate severe weather predictions. It seems like generative AI is poised to touch nearly every industry in some way.
Okay, so NVIDIA is clearly betting big on generative AI, but they also have this new GPU architecture, Blackwell. They threw out some pretty mind-boggling specs, 208 billion transistors, 600,000 parts. This thing weighs 3,000 pounds.
Yeah, Blackwell is a beast, to put it mildly. But for you, the interesting part isn't the weight, it's the performance loops it delivers. We're talking 30 times faster inference and 4 times faster training compared to its predecessor, Hopper.
That's a pretty significant boost. What does that translate to in practical terms?
Well, think about it this way. Faster inference means AI applications can respond in real time, which is crucial for things like self-driving cars or personalized medical diagnoses. Faster training means we can develop even more sophisticated AI models, leading to breakthroughs in areas like drug discovery and climate modeling.
And it seems like NVIDIA isn't just building this powerful technology in a vacuum. They've secured partnerships with some of the biggest names in tech.
That's right. Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, OpenAI, Tesla, even xAI. They're all on board with Blackwell-based products expected to hit the market later this year.
Wow, that's quite a lineup. It sounds like Blackwell could be the engine that drives the next generation of AI applications. But before we get completely lost in the technical weeds, let's zoom out a bit and talk about NVIDIA's GTC conference. The report makes it sound like it's grown from a small gathering to a full-blown tech extravaganza.
It's quite remarkable how much GTC has transformed in just 15 years. It used to be a relatively intimate event held in a hotel ballroom. Now it attracts over 19,000 in-person attendees and nearly 300,000 virtual attendees.
That's a massive leap. What does that tell us about NVIDIA's position in the tech industry?
It's a clear sign of their expanding influence and the growing excitement surrounding AI and accelerated computing. Plus, the fact that those major players we mentioned earlier were all present at GTC shows just how deeply embedded NVIDIA is in the tech ecosystem.
It sounds like they're at the center of the action. Now let's shift gears and talk about the people steering this ship, NVIDIA's board of directors. What can you tell us about the folks calling the shots?
Well, the board is entirely independent except for the CEO, which is generally seen as a positive sign of strong corporate governance. They've also recently brought in new members with expertise in areas like cybersecurity and brand development. It seems they're strategically adding expertise in areas crucial for navigating the future.
It's good to see they're thinking ahead. Are there any particular board members whose backgrounds stood out to you?
A couple caught my eye. Dr. Jono Dabiri, a professor at Caltech, brings cutting-edge engineering experience to the table. And Melissa B. Laura, the former CMO of Taco Bell, adds a wealth of marketing and brand management skills.
Taco Bell. That's an interesting one. I guess even a high-tech company needs someone who knows how to connect with a broad audience. But let's move beyond chips and marketing for a moment and talk about the bigger picture. Where does NVIDIA stand on corporate sustainability? It's a topic that's becoming increasingly important for companies of all sizes.
Their report makes it clear they're aware of this growing importance. They highlight several key focus areas: climate change mitigation, energy efficiency, responsible supply chain management, and even the ethical implications of AI development and usage.
So they're not just focused on profits, but also on their impact on the world. What kind of concrete goals have they set in these areas?
They've actually set a pretty ambitious target to match 100% of their global electricity usage with renewable energy by 2025. That's a significant commitment, and it shows they're serious about reducing their environmental footprint.
That's impressive. What about their supply chain? Are they taking steps to ensure responsible sourcing practices?
They are. They're a full member of the Responsible Business Alliance, which promotes ethical sourcing practices. They also state that they only use conflict-free minerals in their products.
It's good to see them taking a comprehensive approach to sustainability, considering not just their own operations, but also the impact of their supply chain. But let's be honest, every company faces challenges, even one as successful as NVIDIA. What risks and roadblocks do they acknowledge in their report?
They're quite transparent about the challenges ahead. Global economic and political uncertainty, particularly concerning China, and the impact of U.S. export control regulations is a major concern.
That's understandable given the current geopolitical climate. What else?
Cybersecurity threats are, of course, a constant worry for any tech company. They can disrupt operations and damage their reputation, so they're investing heavily in security measures. And in a fast-paced field like tech, the need to constantly innovate to stay ahead of the curve is paramount. They can't afford to rest on their laurels.
It's a tightrope walk for sure, but they've done a pretty good job of navigating it so far. So to wrap up part one of our NVIDIA deep dive, what's the biggest takeaway you'd want our listener to remember?
I think the most striking aspect is that NVIDIA is not simply embracing the AI revolution. They're actively striving to shape it. They're positioning themselves not just as a chip maker, but as a company that will fuel the future of intelligence itself.
It's a bold vision, and it'll be fascinating to see how it unfolds. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we still have a lot more to explore in their annual report. Join us for part two, where we'll dig deeper into NVIDIA's financials and dissect their strategic approach. Welcome back to our deep dive into NVIDIA's 2024 annual report. In part one, we explored their grand vision for generative AI and got a glimpse of their powerhouse GPU architecture, Blackwell. Now let's roll up our sleeves and delve into the numbers.
Yes, it's time to dissect NVIDIA's financial performance. The numbers tell a fascinating story of growth and strategic decision-making.
Hit me with the highlights. What were the key takeaways from their financials?
Well, first and foremost, their revenue more than doubled in fiscal year 2024, soaring to a staggering $60.922 billion. A remarkable leap from $26.974 billion the previous year.
Wow, that's not just growth, that's a full-blown explosion. What fueled this incredible surge?
The report points to the strength of their core markets, particularly data centers, gaming, and professional visualization. It seems the demand for their high-performance computing platforms and software is skyrocketing.
So they're riding the AI wave and making a serious splash while doing it. But as we touched on earlier, they're not just recklessly chasing growth. They've also taken measures to mitigate risks.
You're right. One notable example is their decision to write down inventory. This suggests they're carefully managing their supply chain and adjusting to potential fluctuations in demand. Not getting caught with too much stock if the market shifts.
A smart move in such a dynamic industry. Any other signs of this prudent approach?
Another interesting point is their decision to increase the useful life of their equipment. This accounting adjustment suggests a long-term perspective, recognizing that their investments will continue to generate value over an extended period.
So they're playing the long game, not just focused on short-term gains. This paints a picture of a company that's both ambitious and strategic. But numbers only tell part of the story. Let's dig into some specifics about NVIDIA's business segments.
The report breaks down their operations into two main segments: compute and networking, and graphics.
All right, let's start with compute and networking. What exactly falls under this umbrella?
This segment encompasses a wide range of offerings, including their data center accelerated computing platforms, end-to-end networking platforms, the NVIDIA Drive platform for automated driving jets and robotics, and even software solutions like NVIDIA AI Enterprise.
Wow, that's a mouthful. They're not just about chips anymore. They're building entire ecosystems around specific applications.
Exactly. And this segment is clearly a powerhouse for NVIDIA. In fiscal year 2024, compute and networking revenue skyrocketed to $47.405 billion, up a whopping 215% from the previous year.
Okay, now that's what I call explosive growth. It sounds like data centers and AI are driving a lot of this momentum.
It certainly appears so. The report highlights their leading position in the AI infrastructure market, providing everything from high-performance GPUs to complete software stacks for data center scale AI training and inference.
So they're not just providing the building blocks, they're offering the entire toolkit for AI development and deployment. What about their graphics segment? What's the story there?
This segment focuses on their traditional strength, computer graphics. It includes the renowned GeForce and NVIDIA RTX platforms widely used in gaming design and creative industries.
Ah, yes, GeForce the gamer's best friend. But beyond gaming, what are some other applications of their graphics technology?
Think professional visualization, 3D design, virtual reality, even film and video production. NVIDIA is pushing the boundaries of what's possible with computer graphics, leveraging AI to enhance everything from rendering to special effects.
It seems like AI is permeating every aspect of their business. How did the graphics segment perform financially?
While not as explosive as compute and networking, the graphics segment still saw respectable growth. Revenue in fiscal year 2024 reached $13.517 billion, up 14% from the previous year.
So a solid performance even in a more mature market. NVIDIA is firing on all cylinders, but as we know, there are always challenges and risks to navigate.
You're absolutely right. The report delves into those challenges, highlighting several key risk factors that could impact their future. One major concern is the global economic and political landscape.
Especially the uncertainties surrounding China and the impact of U.S. export controls. How is NVIDIA addressing this tricky geopolitical situation?
It's a delicate balancing act. The report acknowledges that sales to China have been impacted by U.S. export control regulations. While they haven't been granted licenses to ship restricted products to China, they've started shipping alternative products to the Chinese market.
So they're adapting their strategy to comply with regulations while trying to maintain a presence in a crucial market. What about other risks they're facing?
Well, cybersecurity threats are a constant concern for any tech company, and NVIDIA is no exception. They're investing heavily in security measures to protect their systems' data and reputation.
It's a never-ending battle in today's digital world. Any other potential roadblocks they've identified?
The competitive landscape is constantly evolving. NVIDIA acknowledges the need to constantly innovate to maintain their edge in such a rapidly advancing field.
Staying ahead of the curve is crucial, especially in the world of AI and high-performance computing. They also mentioned ethical considerations surrounding AI as a focus area. What did the report have to say about that?
It's definitely a critical issue, and NVIDIA recognizes the responsibility that comes with developing such powerful technology. They state that they're committed to ensuring their AI is developed and used ethically, but the details of their approach remain somewhat vague.
It's a rapidly evolving field, and there are no easy answers. But it's good to see them recognizing the ethical challenges and committing to addressing them. Now let's shift gears and talk about something a bit more lighthearted. NVIDIA's GTC conference.
Ah, yes. GTC has become a major event in the tech world, showcasing NVIDIA's latest innovations and attracting a massive audience. It's a testament to their growing influence and the excitement surrounding AI and accelerated computing.
The report mentioned that GTC has grown exponentially in just 15 years. Can you tell us more about this remarkable transformation?
It's quite a story. 15 years ago, GTC was a modest gathering, easily accommodated in a hotel ballroom. Now, it's a sprawling event that attracts over 19,000 in-person attendees and nearly 300,000 virtual attendees.
That's a staggering increase. What were some of the highlights of this year's GTC?
The event featured over 1,100 sessions, more than 300 exhibits, and 20-plus technical workshops. It was a whirlwind of learning, networking, and exploring the cutting edge of technology.
It sounds like the place to be for anyone passionate about AI and accelerated computing. Did any familiar names pop up in terms of other industry players?
Absolutely. The report specifically mentions the presence of major industry giants like Amazon, Cisco, Dell, Google, HPE, IBM, Lenovo, Microsoft, Oracle, and Supermicro.
Wow, talk about a who's who of the tech world. It's clear that NVIDIA is deeply embedded in the tech ecosystem, collaborating with some of the biggest names in the industry. Speaking of partnerships, let's dive into a crucial piece of NVIDIA's strategy, their acquisition of Mellanox.
The Mellanox acquisition, finalized back in 2020, has been a game changer for NVIDIA. It significantly expanded their capabilities in networking, a crucial component for building high-performance computing systems.
So they're not just about processing power anymore. They're also focusing on how data moves within and between systems. How has this acquisition impacted their offerings?
It's led to the development of a new class of processors called data processing units, or DPUs. These specialized chips are designed to handle the massive data flows required for AI high-performance computing and cloud computing.
EPUs, DPUs, CPUs, DPUs to start. Starting to sound like alphabet soup, but I'm getting the sense that these different types of processors are all working together to create a more powerful and efficient computing landscape.
That's the key takeaway. NVIDIA is building a comprehensive platform that integrates different processing technologies to meet the demands of the most challenging computational tasks.
It's a fascinating evolution, but acquisitions can be risky. How has NVIDIA managed the integration of Mellanox?
The report indicates that the integration has been smooth, with Mellanox's technology and expertise seamlessly woven into NVIDIA's product portfolio.
That's reassuring. Successful acquisitions can be a major driver of growth and innovation. Now let's shift gears and talk about another crucial aspect of NVIDIA's business, their intellectual property.
Intellectual property is the lifeblood of any tech company, and NVIDIA has a long history of innovation and patent development. The report highlights the importance of protecting their IP rights.
It's a constant battle in a competitive industry. What are some of the challenges they face in safeguarding their intellectual property?
Well, they've been involved in lawsuits alleging patent infringement, which can be costly and time-consuming to defend. They also have to contend with the risk of competitors trying to reverse engineer their technology.
It's a high-stakes game with a lot riding on their ability to secure and defend their patents. What strategies are they employing to protect their IP?
They have a robust legal team dedicated to enforcing their patents and pursuing legal action against infringers. They also invest heavily in security measures to prevent unauthorized access to their proprietary technology.
It's a constant vigilance, for sure. Now let's talk about a topic that's becoming increasingly important for all companies: corporate sustainability. We know NVIDIA has made commitments in this area, but what concrete steps are they taking?
The report highlights several key focus areas: climate change mitigation, energy efficiency, responsible supply chain management, and ethical AI development and usage. They've set ambitious goals in each of these areas.
Let's start with their environmental efforts. What are they doing to address climate change and reduce their carbon footprint?
They've set a target to match 100% of their global electricity usage with renewable energy by 2025. That's a bold goal and demonstrates their commitment to transitioning to a more sustainable energy future.
That's impressive. What about their supply chain? How are they ensuring responsible sourcing practices?
They're a full member of the Responsible Business Alliance, which promotes ethical sourcing and fair labor practices. They also explicitly state that they only use conflict-free minerals in their products.
That's reassuring to hear. It shows they're taking a holistic approach to sustainability, considering not just their own operations, but also the impact of their supply chain. Now let's delve into something a bit more philosophical: their efforts to promote ethical AI development and usage. This is a complex issue with far-reaching implications.
It certainly is. The report acknowledges the importance of ethical AI, but doesn't provide a lot of specifics about their approach. They state that they're working to ensure their AI technology is used responsibly, but the details remain somewhat vague.
It's a rapidly evolving field, and there are no easy answers. But it's good to see them recognizing the ethical challenges and committing to addressing them.
Indeed. The responsible development and use of AI is a conversation that needs to happen at all levels of society. And it's encouraging to see companies like NVIDIA taking it seriously.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in part 2 of our NVIDIA Deep Dive. We've explored their financial performance, delved into their key business segments, and examined the challenges and opportunities they face. But there's still more to uncover.
In Part 3, we'll shift our focus to NVIDIA's leadership team, board of directors, and their vision for the future. We'll also explore some of the key takeaways from this comprehensive annual report and leave you with some thought-provoking questions to ponder.
Join us for the final chapter of our NVIDIA Deep Dive, where we'll tie it all together and offer some insights into what the future might hold for this tech powerhouse. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into NVIDIA's 2024 annual report. We've journeyed through their ambitious AI vision, explored their financial landscape, and even tackled the complexities of corporate sustainability.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride.
It has. But now it's time to meet the minds behind this tech titan. Let's start at the top with NVIDIA's founder and CEO, Jensen Huang. He's been at the helm since the company's inception in 1993, guiding it from a small startup to a global powerhouse.
That's a testament to long-term vision and adaptability. The tech landscape has changed dramatically since 1993, and yet here they are leading the charge in AI.
Exactly. What insights did you get about his leadership style from the report?
Well, it definitely paints a picture of a leader who's deeply passionate about technology and innovation. He's often described as a visionary, always thinking ahead, anticipating the next big wave in computing.
That makes sense. He's not afraid to make bold bets like the acquisition of Mellanox, which has clearly paid off. But it takes more than one person to steer a company of this magnitude, right?
Absolutely. That's where NVIDIA's board of directors comes in. As we touched on earlier, the board is entirely independent, except for the CEO, which is generally seen as a positive sign of strong corporate governance.
It's reassuring to see those checks and balances in place, especially in a company that's growing as rapidly as NVIDIA.
Yeah. The board comprises individuals with a diverse range of backgrounds and expertise, from engineering and technology to finance and marketing. This mix of perspectives ensures well-rounded decision-making.
Were there any board members whose backgrounds particularly stood out to you?
A couple caught my eye. Dr. John O'Debiri, a professor at Caltech, brings cutting-edge engineering experience to the table. And then you have Melissa B. Laura, the former CMO of Taco Bell, who has a wealth of marketing and brand management skills.
Taco Bell again. It seems like that experience might come in handy even in the world of high tech. But beyond individual expertise, what's the board's overall approach to guiding NVIDIA?
They seem to be focused on long-term value creation, balancing those ambitious growth goals with a prudent approach to risk management. It's a balancing act that many companies struggle with.
Definitely. But so far, NVIDIA seems to be striking that balance quite effectively.
They're also clearly aware of the evolving landscape of corporate responsibility. The report highlights their commitment to sustainability, ethical AI development, and fostering a diverse and inclusive workplace.
Those are all crucial considerations for a company that's shaping the future of technology. So, having explored all these facets of NVIDIA, what's the big takeaway from our deep dive into their 2024 annual report?
I think what I find fascinating is that NVIDIA isn't just riding the AI wave, they're aiming to be the ones creating it. They see generative AI as the defining technology of our time, with the potential to revolutionize every industry imaginable.
And they're backing up that vision with massive investments in research and development, strategic acquisitions, and a relentless pursuit of technological innovation.
But as we've discussed, they're also not naive to the challenges ahead. They're grappling with geopolitical uncertainties, navigating those ethical considerations, and confidently striving to stay ahead in a fiercely competitive landscape.
It's a high-stakes game, but they seem to be playing it masterfully. So as we wrap up our deep dive, what's the question our listeners should walk away pondering? What's the big what if that we should all be thinking about?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the question that arises is this: can NVIDIA truly live up to its ambition to be the power plant of the AI revolution? And if so, what will the world look like with NVIDIA's intelligence fueling it? That's something for all of us to think about as we watch this tech giant shape the future.
It's a question with profound implications and one that we'll undoubtedly be grappling with for years to come. That's the beauty of these deep dives. They don't just provide answers, they spark new questions and challenge us to think critically about the forces shaping our world. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of NVIDIA, and until next time, keep diving.